we're back and we're, I think it's done updating the estimates. I just want to make sure that our estimates are showing up correctly, hopefully. Let's see. So started in dates, assigned to, okay. Yeah, I think most of our, so we have no more gaps in our rate card, so we have a total cost. It's interesting that this NetSuite configuration does not have any estimates at all. And for this, I'm going to do something very quick, but let's actually look at our total cost of our project now. So yeah, we're about $100,000 for about 700 hours of estimated effort over 113 days, and all the roles that are assigned here. Now, if you want to do something more traditional in terms of editing, you can just click on the task and you can assign an estimate more manually. You can say this is going to be a NetSuite service. I'm probably going to need a configuration specialist. I'm probably going to spend 40 hours low, maybe 60 hours on the higher end. We don't know what the actual effort is, and let's see if we can create this estimate. All right, there we go. So that estimate was created successfully. Great. I think one of the roles is still missing the rate card, so we don't have the cost for this. But we can take care of this later. So let's do something more exciting. So next thing is we'll ask the agent analyze the work breakdown and tell me what scope we may be missing when it comes to a typical NetSuite implementation, because this can be super interesting to see what perhaps the vendor is not telling us, or the vendor didn't account for in their proposal, that may come back to bite us as scope creep once we've kicked off the project and we uncover that, oh wait, we got a lot more scope or steps to cover that we didn't anticipate. And it happens all the time. Sometimes it's just oversight because you uncover more scope later, but sometimes it depends on the experience of the company and the vendor and the team in what level of detail they're able to provide. And sometimes the vendors eat the cost if it's a fixed bid, but what you got to watch out for is if it's a T&M project, the vendor may typically come in with a very high level estimation of scope because everything is T&M, and then you end up paying 2 or 3 times the cost of the actual project, which you didn't budget for. So now this is the exciting part. So I want to see what things we're missing. So here are some gaps. Okay, initiating governance, project governance, environment licensing. Okay, some of this I probably don't care for. Some of it I may. Procurement vendor onboarding, middleware vendors, acceptance criteria, good. Business readiness, this is definitely a thing. Change management, training, there's going to be a lot of things related to that. Data profiling, cleaning, master data governance, this is all really good stuff that is not in our proposal, the scope in our proposal. So we have build and development, way more tasks, testing and validation tasks, convert, post go live, compliance. This is a ton of work that we may not be accounting for in this very, very simple plan that was created from the original scope of work. So either at this point you can ask the vendor to provide you the level of detail in the project plan, or you can give them your project plan and ask them to re-estimate. And that's what I really love about Kriyastream is that was the whole purpose, is the more structured and defined the work plan is, the more successful your project will be. If you don't like flying by the seat of your pants and kicking off a major initiative like an ERP migration or implementation, which no real enterprise would ever do without a ton of planning, You definitely don't want to find yourself in a position where you accepted a vendor's proposal, really didn't know all the steps and this total scope, and now your project costs 3 times of what you had originally planned based on the vendor's estimate. So yeah, I think this is, I think, a really good, strong use case of Kriyastream, and from here we can ask it to, add these tasks to our project, come up with a new scope of execution and a project plan, and even an estimate that we can share with our vendor to say, here's the actual scope of work, and then see if the vendor is the right vendor for your NetSuite project. So hope you enjoyed this video. More to come soon.